Namaste. Thank you, Dai. दाइले एकदम फर्स्ट अफ अल आई रियली अप्रिसिएट दाइले यो एकदमै राम्रो काम गर्नु भएको छ हामीले रिकनेक्सन गराउने काम मैले हजुरले पढाउनु भएको एउटा त्यो नोट चाहिँ मैले प्रिन्ट गरेँ भर्खरै म अफिसमै छु अहिले एउटा अर्को प्रोग्राममा थियो म चाहिँ अलिकति पढ्छु आजको स्पिकर Dr. Buddhi Prasad Lamsal is a professor of food processing at Iowa State University, Ames, USA, and a certified agricultural engineer in the state of Iowa. Professor Lamsal is engaged in plant protein ingredients research for past 20 plus years, primarily studying proteins, structure, functional relationship, and how processing impacts such functions. He has published more than 100 peer-reviewed journal articles, book chapters, and reports, and co-edited 3 books. Dr. Lamsal is an active member of Scientific Professional Societies, AOCS and IFT. With that, I would like to request Professor Lamsal to share his presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rudrakavle. Please, Professor Buddhi Prasad Lamsal, please go ahead with your valuable information for us. Thank you.
ल फेरि पनि सबैजनालाई नमस्कार है आइएम नट स्योर नेपालीमै कुरा गरौँ कि अङ्ग्रेजीमा हैन
मजाले हुन्छ इङ्ग्लिश नेपालीमा तपाईलाई
सायद यो मिक्स पनि हुँदै जान्छ होला सर्वप्रथम मलाई यो अपर्च्युनिटी दिनुभयो हैन मलाई पहिलो कुरा त यो साइन्टिफिक ग्रुपमै जोइन हुन इन्भाइट गरेर बेदजीले हामी सबैलाई ल्याउनु भएको छ नजिक हैन त्यसको लागि धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद र यो कुराकानी गर्ने अवसर पनि जुराइदिनु भएको छ मेरो एकदमै खुसीको अवसर जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई किनभने this is very good networking opportunity not only for me for all of us hopefully in this arena of food science and technology. I see some familiar faces like Achyutji, I saw your name somewhere, Rudraji, Subhas, a couple people I know in person, many of you I do not, but I take this as opportunity to get to know more of you. So with that, I'll kind of go ahead with today's presentation. I really wanted to make it more like informal discussion about something and बेजीले पनि फेरि भन्नुभयो कि एकदमै साइन्टिफिक भनेर कुनै ल्याब बेस्ड रिसर्च पनि प्रेजेन्टेसन नगरौँ भन्ने खालको कुरा पनि भइरहेको थियो हैन किनभने इट जस्ट देयर आर सो मेनी टाइप इन द सेन्स इन्ट्रेस्ट एरियाको हिसाबले यो ग्रुप एकदम डिभर्स छ सर्टेन कुरामा एकदमै जाँदाखेरि सायद इन्ट्रेस्टिङ पनि नहोला तर मोर लाइक व्हाट आर द इम्प्लिकेसन अफ समथिङ दैट वी वान्ट टु टक अबाउट सो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम ट्राइङ टु डू बट I'm trying to learn as well from all of you because especially in the context of Nepal, I have really very little knowledge how these processing technologies have been either adopted or have a scope of, right? So we'll see. It will be more like preaching to the choir, I believe. Most of you guys are from around central campus and you guys know more about food than me, I believe. So this need for processing of food really becomes very mundane to be talking in front of you all. But still, I'll just bring that in as a context and hopefully do how people have been doing. I just have a couple slides to bring in, but I really need your input, your interaction. Hopefully it's going to be a two-way conversation, right? And Beji, you have to stop me at whenever you want to. You said 20-25 minutes of talk, right? Please feel free. Okay, that later part, that plant-based protein is one specific example that my lab had been involved. So I could stop before that. I could go over that if time permits, but it's all good. If we do not finish everything, I'll be fine with that as well. All right. अब रुद्र सरले र बेजीले इन्ट्रोडक्सन त दिनुभयो होइन, त्यसमा पनि म एउटा सानो स्लाइड फेरि पनि राखेँ मैले. And I really have to tell you all that I met Beji in University of Wisconsin almost 22, 23 years ago, right? It was around 2000, I think 2000 itself, right? Year 2000. I was a student there, and Beji came for like some exchange program. They stayed for 6 months. Our kids, I think, were of similar age at that time, at least one of the kids. And then they grew up together for at least few months. So I'm originally from Sangja Bazar, Nepal. I did my undergraduate in Tamil Nadu, ag engineering. You can see my degrees are all in engineering, processing. Master's post-harvest technology from AIT Bangkok. And I just said PhD from UW Madison. And I'm in the faculty, I would say, recent in Iowa State since 2008. And as you know, we start from assistant and then associate and finally professor. So I think 3 years ago, I got that full professorship. So it's been quite a journey actually, in terms of what research struggle and whatnot we had been doing in the US. But my research area really focuses two broad area of, I would say, research lines where I got some funding in the past. First is plant-based ingredients, as you can see, for food, feed, and industrial applications. So not only protein-based ingredients, but it starts heavy ingredients as well. And some of the tools in the research I use extrusion, sonication, whole plasma, etc. Basically, we want to create, we want to produce some ingredients rich in protein, rich in other carbohydrates, and want to look into their properties, how some processing technologies that I sort of mentioned here, some of these, but any others as well, how these processing technologies may have impacted the ingredient function. Okay, so that's one thing I look into, and I have been working with corn protein, soybean proteins, insect proteins, milk protein as well. So in the past and currently as well, mung bean protein, recently we have been looking into some of their useful properties. I'll come to these properties a little bit later. So the second line of research I maintain is bioprocessing for bio-based products and chemicals. So it's more like a value added utilization of agricultural resources, and making use of fermentation and enzyme technology that we achieve or we produce some of these objectives here, bio-based chemicals and products. Some examples I have given down here: antifreeze protein, probiotic cereal brands, that you can ferment some of these high fiber materials and create the ingredients, microbial biosurfactants and biopolymers. So all this broad research area I just wanted to mention here, just in case if other साथीभाइहरूलाई interest छ भने यस्तो एरियाहरूमा, let's catch up, है, and then we can talk about. So really मैले हाम्रो ग्रुप को इन्ट्रेस्ट एरिया अथवा ब्रडली को हुनुहुन्थ्यो ग्रुपमा भनेर सोध्नुपर्ने थियो वास्तवमा है। अब हामी फुड साइन्स बाहेक अरू पनि कोही हुनुहुन्छ कि होइन, बट द्याट्स अल गुड। सो प्रोफेसरलाई माइक दिएपछि के हुन्छ, क्वेसन एन्सर क्वेसन सोध्नुहुन्छ होइन। सो क्विज टाइम सो hopefully you will write a short answer in the chat room, and I'm just going to follow up on that. Okay, so meeting chat room ma so quick answer garnu hola hai. Let's see your slide. Okay, list in your chat box of food you ate today, please. Any type of food. For me it will be coffee. I'll be typing coffee. I see pancake. So morning time here in the US, and on this side, celery and coffee. Yeah, I like that. Cereal. Breakfast cereal, hopefully. Mung bean bread. Oh, to the naya item just mung bean bread. Tea, chow mein, oat. Thank you. Thank you for responding. A variety of foods, right? Variety of foods. My point of bringing this is, we eat a lot of food every day, different type of food. But have we ever thought about, of course, we all are food technologists here, I believe, right? But have we ever thought about what this food has undergone? What processing technologies has it undergone after harvest, or let's say even just before coming to my plate, okay? So before it coming to be, let's say, oat cereal or chow mein, or even brewing the tea or coffee, mung bean bread, have you ever paused and thought about, oh my goodness, how much of processing this food must have gone through? Can you quickly type, even though there is no question there, can you quickly think at least one processing step your food you just listed has undergone? In my case, coffee, let's say it could be roasting. That's the most important processing step our product, my coffee, has undergone. Bimalजीले लेख्नुभएको छ steamed mung bean bread after grinding into paste. Okay, so grinding गर्नु पर्यो अनि grinding, making paste, slurry, and this will steam. Milling and boiling. Fermentation, which food is that, Bikramji? Coffee. Oh, good. So fermentation, good. I think to remove the outermost, the pulp, let's say, to before we produce the beans, I think that's when the fermentation becomes more important, right? How many steps does pancake mix go through before it come to us? Rudraji has asked that question, right? Is that question for me or somebody else? I don't know. But who ate pancake this morning? Can somebody chime in?
That is
यो माइक ओपन गर्ने अरूलाई पनि त होला नि हैन र, कन्भर्सेसन त हो नि.
yeah, that is actually my question to you, sir.
Oh, to me, I didn't eat the pancake today, so I'd rather wait. I'm just kidding, है. प्यानकेक बनाउँदा अब बेसिकली मलाई लाग्छ फ्लावर ग्राइन्डिङ गर्नु पर्यो हैन. There is flour, there is some sweetening ingredients, and त्यसपछि अब इभन पोस्ट हार्भेस्टकै रूपमा लिने हो भने पनि आफ्टर हार्भेस्टिङ द विट, फ्लावर या मैदा नै हो बेसिकली, अब अरूको होइन भने इन जेनरल. So after harvest, so many processing it undergoes. And we generally group these steps of processing as primary processing, on farm or near farm operations, like that wheat I just mentioned about, may need to be dry first, okay, before storage. So drying is the very first important processing step it must undergo. And then you have to store. Store is also one sort of processing condition situation. But then after that, that could be near the farm itself. But after that, somebody has to mill it into flour. So flour is the major ingredient in the pancake, just like in bread. So um, grinding or milling, right? Milling is the huge business, huge operation, especially in bread eating countries like US, maybe other type of countries as well. So yeah, grinding. त्यसपछि अरू टाइपको इन्ग्रिडियन्टहरूसँग मिक्स गर्नु पर्यो अनि त्यसपछि ल मान्नुहोस् तपाईँले प्याकेजिङ गर्नु पर्यो then we go to the store and we bring the pancake box home, but before eating, now you have to mix into a paste or slurry. So mixing itself, if you think in a big industrial scale, that mixing really is a huge and very important processing step. And then now you have to put it on a pan, right? Like hot pan at certain temperature. Temperature needs to be controlled. There probably will need to be some oil in there. You pour it and then you have to flip it. So basically that processing, that cooking step is there. So as simple as pancake, I may have listed at least 5, 6, 7 different steps that it has to undergo, right? So yeah, so next time, hopefully when we drink tea or eat something and then we try to think, okay, so many steps it has undergone. But then while describing all these steps, mostly for pancake, the objective of these various steps are not the same, right? The objective for processing as a whole, when we say primary processing, and then now the secondary processing, wherein we take ingredients and make the pancake. So primary processing here would be your drying, your storage, and maybe even making the flour. That's one step, okay? Because if your pancake or bread making industry, they would just buy the flour. They would not go buy the seed, the wheat itself, right? So from there on, the ingredient for bread or pancake, so that from there on, mixing and then cooking and all that, that becomes more like a secondary processing steps. So, and together, ultimately, so each of these have different objectives. So the very first, right after harvesting of the wheat kernels, that drying you are doing to reduce the moisture content so that you can store at certain, and generally 8 to 10, 12% moisture content, you have to bring it down. Why? Because if you did not do, there is going to be microbial infestation, right? Or some sort of mold. Your kernel itself may go bad, right? So storage conditions, so you have to control. So food safety concerns comes in. That's what I'm trying to say here. So the objective of every steps is not the same. And what I'm just trying to show in this slide here is a dairy example, and I'm sure Subhasji is very well familiar. He's the expert in here. So from the farm to the table, everything in between, of course, is processing. That's where the transformation occurs, transformation, and then you need some input. You need the input, and then you will get the food products out. And I have listed on the right, you can see here, various common processing steps. And usually cooking, pasteurization in the context of milk or liquid food products, juices and whatnot. So they achieve food safety, but some other objectives could be shelf-life extension. So it's just not safety alone, food safety. Food safety is primary concern. Ask our friend Bipinji here, right? Bipinji, you cannot bring out any unsafe food products. So primary processing objectives here, of course, is food safety first, but then we or the processing steps help us with shelf-life extension as well during storage. So these are two really primary processing objectives. And then I would say a secondary sometimes that convenience the processing provides really becomes sometimes a major aspect of processing. But even then you have to make sure the product you are selling out, of course, is safe. So when I say convenience, it's basically when we go to grocery store, you see hundreds of varieties of things, right? Maybe pancake in a box, pancake in maybe in another pouches, for example. In so many varieties of pancake flour you may find, right? Ready to go type of sometimes as well. Chow mein, TV dinner here they call, right? Like frozen food products that you just open it and then put in the microwave and then you heat it up and ready to eat. So so much of convenience is possible because of processing of the food, right? So that's something processing really helps or has defined sometimes the lifestyle as well. So some pictures I put together. You may see interesting pictures like this, you know, dried juice powder as well, juice itself, dried tomatoes, frozen products, and fresh cuts, fruits and vegetables. And in lower technology side, you can see just somebody boiling something. अगेनामा राखेर केही दूध अथवा खानेकुराहरू पकाइराख्नु भएको छ यहाँ पिक्चरमा. So these are all some techniques, technologies, processing makes use of in creation of safer food, and that extends the shelf life as well, right? So we manipulate by processing. Processors need to manipulate three major things, basically: temperature, water activity, and pH, as you all know, right? Food technologist. So temperature, either increasing the temperature beyond, let's say, 100 degrees Celsius to kill microorganisms, or around 50, 60 to do the drying operations. Water activity, again, through drying operations, you want to reduce water activity probably below 0.6. So that gives you safer products. And pH, of course, high pH, low pH, based on that, certain type of microorganisms become of importance through the safety, from the safety point of view. So you do low acid type of cooking to kill certain microorganism, but that is dependent on pH as well. So you manipulate pH, you manipulate water activity, you manipulate temperature. So these are the three primary ways through which we achieve processing, right? If you want to jump in, so this is where I want more of your interaction here. In the context of Nepal, or village, when I say village, because I grew up in Sangja, I saw my own mother. Of course, all of us must have seen, I believe, village folks do some things that later on nowadays, I believe, I realized, oh, those were really some food processing technologies that our people did, and they still do back home, in pretty small scale, right? As it is more in a household type of scale, and 1 kilo, 2 kilo at the max type of processing operation. Yeah, जातो अब familiar नहुने त सायदै कोही होला हैन, नेपालीहरु मध्ये सबैजना फेमिलियर छौं. जातोले उहाँले यहाँ पिक्चरमा दाल पिनिरहेको देखिन्छ. अब यो नेक्स्ट पिक्चर चाहिँ घट्टा, पानी घट्टा हैन, सबैजनाले सायद देख्नुभएकै होला. यो घट्टको मुनि यो प्रोपेलर जस्तै यो भेनहरु राखेर अब त्यसमा पानीको फोर्स लगाएर त्यसलाई घुमाइन्छ हैन. त्यो घुमेर माथिको यो एउटा चक्का घुम्छ, अर्को चक्का स्टेशनरी हुन्छ माथि, अनि त्यहाँबाट खानेकुराहरू, अब ग्रेनहरू के पिन्नु पर्ने हो. बेसिकली दिस इज अनदर mill or grinding operations that people have been doing. ढिकी कसलाई थाहा नहोला ढिकी हैन अब हामीले ढिकी पनि के गर्छौं त के गरिरहेको छ ढिकीले can we chime in a little bit can you guys help me here हामी पनि सानसानो हुँदा आमाको पछि लागेर त ढिकीमा वेट थप्थ्यौं now I realize this ढिकी really helps achieve a primary processing of rice right अब राइसलाई सुकाइन्छ हार्भेस्ट अब भकारीबाट झिकेर यो ढिकीमा लानु अगाडि सुकाइन्छ घाममा केही समय 2-4 घण्टा इफ आई रिमेम्बर वेल त्यो सुकेको धान ल्याएर अब मलाई लाग्छ धान नै हैन धानमै ढिकीले धान कुट्ने नै हो त्यसपछि यो बाहिरको के रे त्यो भुसलाई हटाउनको लागि you beat on it हैन त्यसपछि अझ सानोमा constantly keep beating and त्यसपछि अनि त्यसपछि त्यो भुस त अनि यो ढिकी सकेपछि के हुन्छ भने सबैलाई थाहा होला ढिकीको काम सकेपछि राइस त अब चामल धान त कुटियो हैन तर धान र भुस सबै एकै ठाउँमा छ त्यहाँ अझै अब के गर्नुपर्छ हामीले नेक्स्ट अब त्यो धान भुस सबै त खाँदैनौँ हामीले हैन त्यो भुसलाई अलग गर्नु पर्यो अब त्यो भुसलाई कसरी अलग गरिन्छ अब हजुरहरूले पक्कै पनि देख्नु भएको होला गाउँघरमा कसरी भुसलाई घरको स्केलमा अलग गरिन्छ एउटा सुपो भनिन्छ नाङ्लो सुपो लिएर अब यहाँ त मकै देखिएको छ हैन तर इमेजिन त्यहाँ राइस लिएर अब तपाईहरुले यसरी निफन्ने भन्छौं हामीले भन्थ्यौं निफनिन्छ के भइरहेको छ त्यहाँ वास्तवमा हामी प्रोसेसिङ पोइन्ट अफ भ्यू हेर्ने हो भने you are trying to blow away some lighter material like a bush from the grain right so यसमा पनि अब बिग्रेको अनि त्यो मकैको सानसानो अगाडिको टुप्पाहरू अनि त्यसपछि बाहिरको बोक्राहरू जुन भुइँमा देखिरहेको छ यिनीहरूलाई ब्लो अवे गरेर त्यहाँ हावालाई क्रिएट भइरहेको छ हैन हावा आइरहेको छ अनि त्यसपछि हामीले क्लीन गरिन्छ यसरी हैन क्लिनिङ अपरेसन इज ह्यापनिङ देयर बिटिङ अपरेसन दैट रोल अब त्यसको ठुलो स्केलमा इन्डस्ट्रियल स्केलमा अब अरु खालको अपरेसनहरु गरिन्छ हैन अब दही मही हामीले खान्छौं हैन गाउँघरमा मथिन्छ अब बटर निकाल्नको लागि दहीबाट दूधबाट नौनी निकाल्नको लागि अब त्यसमा पनि हामीले गहिरिएर हेर्यो भने there is quite a bit of technology involved there especially right you can see that so यो मदानी भनिन्छ नि जुन यो घुमाउने चीज यसको एउटा एन्डमा यो ब्याफलहरु लगाइरहेको हुन्छ यो काठको चारवटा स्पेशली त्यसले गर्दाखेरि त्यो मथ्नलाई चाहिँ धेरै हेल्पफुल हुन्छ त्यो एजिटेसन जुन हामीले गरिरहेको छौं होमोजेनाइजेसन यसैको ठुलो रूप होमोजेनाइजेसन हो हैन अब एकदम हाई स्पिडमा मिक्स गरेर अनि त्यसपछि त्यो फ्याट बबलहरुलाई टुक्रा टुक्रा बनाएर अनि क्रिमिङ अप गरेर स्किम गरिन्छ अनि बटर त्यहाँबाट निक्लिन्छ हैन अब मैले भन्न खोजेको स्मलर स्केलमा पनि गाउँघरमा प्रोसेसिङ टेक्नोलोजिजहरु प्रयोग भइरहेकै छ हुँदै आइरहेको छ स्केल अनुसार नीड अनुसार people have been doing what they have been doing but there is scientific basis to do what our forefathers have been doing and that's what we need to appreciate about the technology even though it's very low tech technology it's there right यो अर्को यो मलाई पनि इन्टरनेटमा खोज्दै जाँदाखेरि यसले बाल्यकालको बच्चा हुँदाखेरिको कुराहरु याद दिलायो हामी के भन्नुहुन्छ तपाईहरुले यो जुन यहाँ निक्लेको छ यो के रे पिंक कलरको खानेकुरा क्विक टाइप गर्नु भए पनि हुन्छ अथवा स्पिक अप हैन के त्यो पिंक कलरको एउटा रोटी पनि होइन यो पिठोलाई बनाएर यो सानो सानो डिभाइस हातले पनि घुमाइन्छ त्यसबाट अनि यसको एउटा एन्डमा यो डिभाइसको एन्डमा अब यो पल भएको ओपनिङ पनि हुन सक्छ एउटा पल तीनटा पल यस्तो स्क्वायरहरु व्हाटएभर हैन इट विल बी एट द एन्ड एन्ड देन यु keep rotating, you produce something. Jinia. अच्युतजीले झिनिया लेख्नु भएको छ, हामीले झिलिङ्गा भन्थ्यौँ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई पश्चिमतिर, झिलिङ्गा झिनिया। के हो त यो बेसिकली भन्दा अब राइस अथवा सायद चामलकै पिठो होला है मलाई लाग्छ। चामलको पिठोको डो बनाइयो हैन, डो बनाउन पनि अब त्यहाँ मिक्स गर्नु पर्यो, फिट्नु पर्यो, अनि त्यसपछि यो सर्ट अफ अ स्मल एक्सट्रुडर। इफ यु लुक इन्टु इट, इट्स अ एक्सट्रुडर। हामीले अब बिगर स्केलमा यहाँ अब एक्सट्रुजन भन्छौँ, अब ठुलो अब यसको भित्रपट्टि एउटा अगर भन्छ, अगर जस्तो स्क्रु हुन्छ, स्क्रुले प्रेसर घुमाउँदै जाँदाखेरि प्रेसर निकाल्छ, यसले पुश आउट गर्छ, पुश आउट गर्दाखेरि अनि कुन सेप राखेको छ एन्डमा त्यसै अनुसार यो यसरी निक्लन्छ, अनि प्लेटमा कलेक्ट गर्दै जाँदा गोलो सेप दिइन्छ हैन। अब यो मिठाईहरू बनाउने क्रममा पनि अब यस्तै लो स्केलमा टेक्नोलोजीहरू प्रयोग गर्छौँ हामीले घरमा हैन। त्यसपछि अब यी सबै टेक्नोलोजीहरू जुन जस्ट एकदम भिलेज स्केलमा सानो लो टेक जुन मैले देखाएँ त्यसैको विस्तृत रूप, ठुलो रूप। You can see here grinding, polishing of the rice of the or the other kernels, corn milling, as I can show you here, being in Iowa. So the objective is to break it down, just not making the flour, but break it down into various components. Here we call fractionation now. So we can fractionate the corn, in this case, into starch, into fiber, high fiber, into protein itself. So what we are doing is really we are going on the other extreme, really. These days, we might consider this to be more like ultra processing, actually, right? And this word ultra processing has been in pretty common use last 4 or 5 years. So processing is there. We are doing some sort of extreme processing and then creating food which is really not using any natural ingredient in that sense. Natural in the sense how it existed before. In this case also corn, if you grind the corn itself as a whole, the grain, the kernel, and then you grind whole kernel flour you get, right? Versus if you grind or if you produce a flour or the starch, almost 90-95% starch you can produce using some wet milling technology. So now you are taking just the starch and you are discarding the fiber, you are discarding the germs which has the oil in there, and you are discarding the protein, for example. If you are just creating some ingredient out of that starch, for example, you take it further, hydrolyze it, and produce dextrins. You can do that. So now that dextrin really becomes some type of sweetener or ingredients or carrier material for drug delivery, whatnot. So you are trying to create something which did not exist in its natural form initially as a whole. So now you are breaking down, you are processing it further, causing it, or we call that ultra processing. So I'm just listing out some bigger equipment here that achieves the similar level of processing or even beyond. So for example, this atta versus maida, I have written here atta versus maida. So what is atta? What is maida? We all know, right? Atta is whole grain flour versus maida is, it's just the flour, but that outer parts and all the fiber parts, germ part, everything removed from the kernel. So how are these two different in terms of nutrients, in terms of health benefiting components in there? Maida would not have so much of fiber because now you have removed it. Right. So corn wet milling, I just mentioned about that, you remove into starch, fiber, protein. In the picture also shows all these components. So is it good? What type of applications that we might really like these food products that you can create out of these ingredients, highly processed ingredients. So now they become more and more ultra processed, not very helpful. I think they fall in the category of नेपालमा पत्र फुड पनि of course भनिन्छ जङ्क फुडहरू खानेकुरा त हो तर it really does not give you any health benefits, nutrient benefits that the original ingredients, natural ingredients that it had before would have given you. Now it would not. Some cooked drinks, chocolate, especially white chocolate, is totally unnatural, really. Brown chocolates, as you can see, of course, has some natural ingredients there. Cake, processed meat, sausage, sausageहरू आजकल केटाकेटीहरूले खुब मन पराउँछन् होइन. Replacement meal replacement shakes, instant soups, हाम्रो noodleहरू, rara noodle, for example, or other shinke type of noodleहरू, pizza, breakfast cereals, we just say chicken nuggets. So these are the type of products that are produced from highly processed ingredients. So not very helpful, mostly junk food, right? And they are there more for convenience. They may taste very good. That's why people like it, but not very helpful and healthful as well, right? So that's what we need to be aware these days of. Processing has been very helpful, is helpful, but we need to draw a line where really do we need this much of processing sometimes as well. So in the context of Nepal, that's what I want your input as well. How you can, how we can rather, as a technologist, as a educators, as a researchers, we can share this knowledge. We can make other people aware that this type of processing, really ultra processed foods, are not very helpful. So and अहिलेको कन्टेक्स्टमा कस्तो छ, अब नेपाली स्कुल करिकुलमहरू मलाई त्यति थाहा भएन, तर बेसिक फुड साइन्स एन्ड न्युट्रिसनको केही करिकुलम, केही अंश, केही कोर्सेसहरू पढाउने करिकुलम छ कि छैन अहिले? हजुरहरू कसैलाई थाहा होला, इन्भल्भ हुनुहुन्छ? बाह्र क्लासमा, 11-12 क्लासमा देखि नै फुड साइन्सको नलेज चाहिँ हामीले प्रोभाइड गर्न सक्नुपर्छ बालबच्चाहरूलाई, इभन ग्रोन अप मान्छेहरूलाई पनि. अब सबैलाई हामीले खानेकुरा खान्छौँ भन्दैमा हामीले खानेकुराको बारेमा सबै कुरा थाहा हुँदैन होइन, थाहा नहुन सक्छ. यो कफी कसरी प्रड्युस भयो मान्छेहरूलाई थाहा हुँदैन, नहुन सक्छ. हामी कफी इन्जोय गर्छौँ, तर सो मेनी स्टेप्स. प्यानकेक हामी इन्जोय गर्छौँ, बट it involves so many steps, necessary and sometimes unnecessary as well. So community processing could be one way. Co-op facilities, as I see here in the US as well, they are also sort of, I'm not saying going backward, but they're thinking smaller scale, co-op processing, locally grown foods consumed in local consumption, so that you are not transporting a huge distance. And that transportation is made possible mostly by processing, because now you can reduce the weight of the water by drying. Now you can create some convenient food. You can freeze the product and transport so far away. So all that has created unsustainable food system that really can be elevated to some extent by consuming what is grown around us. Let's say 20-mile, 50-mile radius. If you eat the produce that's grown around you, sometimes it's not possible, because let's say even in Iowa, 4 महिना त हामी अब बिलो 0 टेम्परेचरमा बसिरहेको हुन्छ. अब त्यसको लागि के ग्रो गर्न सकिँदैन. द्याट्स अनदर थिङ, राइट? सो अन्तबाट ल्याउनु पर्ने हुन्छ, किनभने सबै चिज फ्रिज भएर बसिरहेको हुन्छ. तर टु द एक्सटेन्ट पोसिबल, if all of us can change our thinking, into eating locally grown produces, trying to not go for over processed, ultra processed foods. So that will be really helpful, beneficial. I think this is around 9:40, 9:45. Maybe we can have some discussions for 15-20 minutes, because next, that protein-based processing and whatnot, I have so many things, but probably I'll just stop here. I thought of doing one quick quiz coming from the protein aspect. Maybe it was there, it was not there. I was just trying to bring in the role of protein in different type of food products. So, but I think I'll just stop there. Okay, so I was just trying to see what food you ate today. Does it have any protein in that? So if so, why the protein is there? What does protein do in your food? Some different type of food examples I have put up in the slide. The role of protein in creating these foods is not the same. Protein, mostly plant-based proteins and sometimes animal-based proteins as well. Protein as ingredient I'm talking about. And then to prepare that protein, highly pure protein, almost 90 plus, 65 plus percentage protein, you need to do processing. That's a different thing though, right? But what protein does in your food products, like in sauces, like in milk, like in meatballs, like in bread itself, shake, cakes. Well, that's my area of interest, my research area, and then I think I will just stop here. What with this slide, what protein does in various type of food. A lot of time, you can see it can create and stabilize film and the foam, like in this picture of cake, which basically is a foam type product. Uh, Protein really stabilizes these forms, which gives us very soft, spongy texture that you eat. And in the right, the picture here is the patty. It's a plant-based meat, basically. And herein, water absorption properties by protein, fat binding, त्यसपछि जुन protein interaction through hydrogen bonding and the other type of hydrophobic bonding interaction. So there are so many things the protein brings in creating this very soft meat-like texture. So that's all protein. Protein content is about 15 to 20% or even more sometimes. In the cake, it's about 5%. And emulsions like mayonnaise, the spreads, sausages, and salad dressing, for example, here, salad dressing, mayonnaise, here you are just, the protein is there to stabilize. It's just less than 1%. The protein is not there for calorie or other type of consumption. Protein does certain function in the food, also called functional properties. Okay, so that's what I study. That's what my research is. I don't think I'll go in depth. Please reach out to me if you have more interest in this type of research. Protein utilization, preparing ingredients out of some let's say legumes or other type of dry beans and stuff. So and looking into how good that protein is in creating or in providing this type of functional properties in the food. So that's my research area, but I'll stop here. So so let's talk. Dalji or anybody, what next? I'll stop here, okay?